Hello, hello. Welcome to yoga. My name is Nicola. This is an all levels flow. Today's practice is going to focus a little more on relaxing the mind and the mind-body connection. So pretty much in general, yoga helps you focus internally, be present, and in that respect, relax the mind. But the postures I will lead you through today should help a little more with that. It's going to be a pretty slow flow today. So with that in mind, we will begin with our centering. So I want you to find a comfortable seat with a nice long spine, allowing room for the breath. And we'll be coming into the 3-part or Yoga breath. So to begin with, as you inhale slowly and deeply, just allow your belly to fully relax and expand like a balloon. As you inhale, pull belly button towards spine, so you can use those abdominals to help fully expel all the breath. As we begin these slow, deep cleansing breaths, take your attention inward. Check in with yourself, see how you feel today, and be okay with that. No judgment. Don't beat yourself up. If you're working with a limitation, an injury, you have an area that's a little tight, just work with that. Do what you can, modify as needed. And keep in mind as we move through the practice today, that you should be able to breathe slowly, deeply, evenly. If you find yourself breathing more rapidly or catching your breath, that's maybe an indication that you need to back off a little bit and pick one of the modifications. On your next inhale, allow belly, then rib cage to expand. As you exhale, draw in the ribs, draw in the belly. So I'm going to offer up a quote by an unknown author, I believe. Yoga takes you to the present moment, the only place where life exists. So be in that present moment throughout today's practice. I'm bringing in the 3rd part of our 3-part breath. On your next inhale, allow belly, rib cage, and then collarbones to expand. And as you exhale, collarbones fall, ribs draw in, belly button pulls in. Just getting the sense as we take these deep cleansing breaths that you're filling up your lungs from bottom to top and emptying from top to bottom. Taking one more full, deep, slow breath. Exhale. And then allow your breath to be natural without too much thought. We'll just begin by coming onto the back today. So just get yourself down to the mat here. Keep your knees bent, feet flat on the mat, arms by your side. And as you inhale, you'll reach arms overhead And allow your low back here to disconnect from the mat. As you exhale, push your arms down, pull the abdominals in, and connect low back to mat. Inhaling, reach overhead, low back releases. Exhale, sweep your arms back down, pushing low back to mat. And just continue for a few more breaths. The next time your arms sweep overhead, extend the legs, coming into a full body stretch. And then leaving your right leg long, draw your left knee in and hug it towards your chest. Place left hand on kneecap and release your right arm down by your side. Just begin to make some circles here. Use your hand to determine the size of these knee circles, keeping your hip and leg fairly passive here. And then pause, taking your circles in the opposite direction. Once more, just draw this knee in. And we'll begin to extend and bend the leg. So if hamstrings are tight, you'll never want to fully extend your leg. Just extend to the point where you feel a decent stretch in the back of the leg in that hamstring area. And then bend the leg, breathing into that area of sensation. Just a visual, but it helps that area relax, release. And whenever you're ready, extend the leg and pause. Remember, you can have a generous bend in the knee here. And just begin to flex and point your foot. Maybe circle the ankle. And you can continue here as you are. Breathing into that stretch. If you would like to add a little core work, raise your right leg, that extended leg, about an inch or two off the mat. Take an inhale breath, and as you exhale, curve up the head, neck, and shoulders, bringing nose toward knee. Take one more breath here. If you do have the head and shoulders raised up, just go ahead and rest them back down. Bring right leg back down to the mat. Bring right arm out to shoulder height. And allow your left leg to open out to the left side here. Just feeling an inner thigh stretch. Slowly begin to bring this leg back towards the center and bend your leg. Place right hand on your knee, left arm comes out to shoulder height, and we'll guide that knee over, across and down to the right. Just make sure your foot contacts the floor, but you keep your knee raised. Pretty early on in the practice, so you don't want to twist too deeply here. And just keep your gaze straight up at the ceiling. And then rolling onto your back. Arms overhead, extend your left leg long. Take a breath here. And then draw in your right knee and hug it towards your chest. And then putting your right hand on your knee, left arm releases to your side. Just begin to make some circles. Circling slowly in one direction. And then pause. Take those circles in the other direction. And then pause here and begin to work into the hamstring by extending your leg. Again, if hamstring is tight, please just keep your leg bent.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Extend
I've come to talk
and
with
bend
you
your leg.
because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping. And the vision
And then extend your leg to your own degree and just pause there. Find somewhere to hold on your leg, avoid the back of the knee.
in the sound
And just begin to flex and point your foot.
in restless strings I walked along.
Circle your ankle.
Now the streets are cobblestone. Neath the halo of
If you would like to add that little bit of core work, just raise your left foot an inch or two off the mat. Take an inhale breath, and as you exhale, rounding the spine, bringing nose toward knee. Raising head, neck, and shoulders off the mat.
touch the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking,
Take one more breath here.
without listening.
And as you exhale, slowly lower left foot, head, neck, and shoulders.
Voices never share.
Bring your left arm out to shoulder height and just begin to open that right leg towards the right side. Again, working into that inner thigh area on the right leg.
Who said I do not know? Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words
And then just draw this leg towards the center. Bending your knee, place left hand on knee, open right arm to shoulder height. And just guide this knee over, across and down to the left, making sure your foot contacts the floor. But keep your knee about at hip height here. Gaze straight up at the ceiling.
and the sound fresh that it's a warning. In the words that it was forming. And the signs of the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls. Returning home, whispering.
Taking one more breath here. Just roll onto your back slowly, maybe gathering in both knees, just rocking side to side. And from here we will be coming up to a seat, so you can either get a little momentum, rock yourself forward, or you can just roll onto one side and come up to a seat that way. We'll be coming into bound angle. So you want to bring the soles of your feet together and try to keep your spine nice and long. So there are two ways you can help yourself here if you need to. You can take your hands behind you and kind of use your arms as props to elongate the spine and push yourself a little forward. If hips are really tight, just bring your feet further forward. This will allow you to sit more forward on your sit bones and keep a straight spine. So just take a few breaths here with a nice straight spine. And depending on your comfort level, your flexibility in your hips, you can choose to keep this straight spine and just kind of ease yourself a 1/4 inch further forward with each breath. Or maybe just allow the spine to round and the head to lower.
Your beauty shines so clear. And if perchance you ask for me, perhaps you'll not be fine.
Take one more breath. If your spine was rounded, just come to a nice tall spine. You'll be coming into a wide angle forward fold. So if hamstrings are tight, keep your knees bent. You can also keep your legs fairly close together here, or just open them a little bit more to your own degree. And again, keeping the spine long. Just lean forward. And take a few breaths here. You should feel a little bit of a stretch here on the inner thighs as you start to lean forward. We'll just hold here for a few breaths. Try to inch yourself slightly further forward. Think about sending your breath to these back of the legs, the hamstring area, maybe the inner thighs, wherever you feel the most sensation. Just encouraging that area to release and relax. Maybe working down onto the elbows. Just take one more breath here. And then slowly begin to bring yourself upright. We'll be working onto the hands and knees from here. So take your time and just find that tabletop position. And we'll begin to loosen up the spine a little bit with the 6 movements of the spine. So beginning with cat dog or cat cow. On your inhale, belly lowers, tailbone and chin tip up. And as you exhale, rounding the back like a cat, tucking in chin and tailbone. Inhaling, finding that dog posture. Exhale into cat. Just continue to flow back and forth with your own breath. Make it a slow flow from one posture to the next. But if you do happen to find a particular spot along the way that would just feel really good to pause and breathe and hold that stretch, then please do so. Just take one more inhale breath. Exhale, really round the spine. And then come to neutral. And then we'll just move the spine side to side here. So as you exhale, take chin and hips to the left, looking back towards your hips. Inhale as you pass through center. Exhale to the right side. And again, just flow side to side here with the breath, exhaling as the spine curves. Inhaling as you pass through a straight spine. Just making that kind of C curve from side to side. Just go once more in either direction. And then pause in the center. And we'll find a spinal twist with thread the needle. So keeping left hand grounded. Inhale, open that right arm for a twist. Exhale, thread your hand, palm up behind the left and push away through the fingertips. Making your way down to the mat, bringing head and shoulders down to the mat. If you need to, make a fist with this left hand and rest your head on your fist. If your left hand is free, you can actually drape it behind your back if you want. Or perhaps you like to work with lifting the leg, adding a little core work. So I would recommend keeping the left arm down. And then extend this leg out, kind of like a kickstand, so you're on the ball of your foot here. And then begin to lift the leg. And maybe you bend and straighten the leg. Perhaps even reach back and try to grab that foot. If you do feel yourself rolling onto your back, just go with it. You'll probably be fine. We're very close to the floor anyway. And if you do have that leg extended, draw the knee back in, left hand to the mat. Inhale, opening your right arm for a twist. And then bringing palm down and switching sides here. Inhale, opening left arm. And with a big exhale, thread that hand, palm up, push away through the fingertips. And just try to match what you did on the other side. Remembering you can drape this hand behind your back. Or choose to play with the leg, in which case you will need to tighten your core. And if you do have the leg raised, bring your knee back down, right hand to the mat. Inhaling, open that left arm. Exhale, bring the palm down. And then taking your hands a little forward of your shoulders and kind of connecting them to the mat, digging them in there. Keep them where they are as you sink back into child's pose, creating a little stretch here down the arms and across the upper back. Breathing into that upper back area. If you prefer a more relaxed version of child's pose, just bring your hands behind you. Rest your hands, palms up next to your feet, and just let your shoulders fall forward. And if your arms were behind you, just bring them back out front. Stretch them out. Take a breath here. And then just come up onto your hands and knees, hooking your toes underneath. And preparing for downward facing dog. So lifting your hips high, finding that upside down V shape. Pushing heels towards mat.
pushing into your hands so chest moves back towards your thigh. Finding that tilt in the pelvis by tipping your tailbone up and back. And then drawing your shoulder blades down your back and wrapping them forward. Holding this downward dog. Or maybe just coming up onto the toes and alternately pushing one heel then the other down towards the mat. Walking the dog. Take one more breath here, and then slowly just begin to walk your feet toward your hands, landing in a forward fold. So we'll be holding this forward fold for a few breaths. So if you know forward folds are not for you, you have high blood pressure, glaucoma, you feel dizzy, maybe you have sinus issue, just come up to jackknife, keeping torso parallel to the ground, drawing shoulder blades back so you pull your shoulders away from your ears. Soft bending the knees if you need. You can even bend and straighten the legs while you're here. If you are in that forward fold, several options. You can choose to grab opposite elbows and just sway side to side or front to back, allowing head and neck to hang loose. For ragdoll, choose to work on these hamstrings a little more, and remember you can have knees bent and your chest can be resting on your thighs, and as you hold a forward fold you can just try to gradually straighten your legs a little more as you breathe. Or perhaps you want to step onto your hands, so your hands are palm up and your fingers are pointing back towards your heels, and you kind of step on your hands here so that your toes come about to the wrist crease. Again, knees can be bent or legs can be straight. And just kind of pull into your hands here, trying to pull your hands up whilst pushing your feet down. And this will just pull you a little deeper into this forward fold. So plenty options here. Pick what's right for you. You should not be in pain. You should be breathing deeply, slowly, evenly. Relax the mind, focus internally, what's going on. Don't beat yourself up, no judgment. Baby steps here. If you make it half an inch deeper into the fold, then give yourself a pat on the back. Whenever you're ready, release the hands. Maybe come into that ragdoll for a couple breaths. So we will be coming up to standing, but just bring your hands to shins or thighs and come about halfway. We've been folded forward for a while. And this will kind of be a stop halfway along, help us not to be too dizzy when we do stand up. And then bending the knees softly. Inhale, reaching arms out and up. Bring hands to heart. Pause for a moment. Just note what it feels like now that we're standing. Now we're not just standing here. Your legs are strong. You're hugging the muscles to the bones. You have a slight tilt to the pelvis. Core is pulled in. And with hands to heart, push your palms together to activate the upper body. Inner arches of the feet are pulling up. Your toes are spread nice and wide. So we'll come into some sun breaths from here. So just lowering the hands. Inhale, reach nice and tall. Exhale, turn your palms out and push down through the arms. So create a little bit of a resistance here as you raise and lower your arms. Inhale, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, turn the palms down and push your hands slowly down. Go with your own breath through a few more of these sun breaths.
I never dreamed I would somebody like you.
And then adding on, we'll turn these into heart sun salutations. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, soft knees fall forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart. Just move through one more of these. And then just pause in mountain pose. So I'm going to lead you just through one sun salutation, and I'm going to throw in lizard pose in the middle. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stepping back to plank or tabletop is your option. Exhale, shift forward, slowly lower. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. So here's where we'll add in the lizard pose. So softly bend your knees and step your right foot forward. And you'll kind of stretch that left leg back and bring your knee down to the mat. And then just shift forward just a little bit on this front leg. And you can choose to stay here. Bring your hands to the inside of this right foot. Now I don't have a yoga block to demonstrate. I did order one, but it has not yet arrived. If you do have a yoga block here, you can place it right here inside your foot. And as you bend forward, you can actually rest your elbows on the block. Alternatively, if you can, you're going to bring your elbows all the way down to the floor. And just let your head hang forward. If you choose to stay up on the fingertips with a nice straight spine, keep your head and neck in line with the rest of your spine. So there's a few options here. Probably feel a pretty good sensation in this right leg, the hamstring, the hip. Just breathe into that sensation. And then slowly, if you were down on your elbows, come back up onto the fingertips. Pick up your back knee and we'll step back to plank. Take a breath here. And then slowly lower. Making your way to low cobra, full cobra, or lifting the knees for upward facing dog. Onto downward dog. Bend the knees and step your left leg forward, finding lizard pose on the other side. So shift forward a little bit on this leg and then lower your back knee. You want to make sure that you at least have a straight line here. Your knee can even be slightly forward, but never extending beyond the toe. Take hands to the inside of your left foot. And you can choose to stay here or lower down onto the elbows. I do have a little hip flexor issue here, so I will be staying upright, but you can try to lower down onto your elbows if you want.
modify as needed. And right now, this is where I am on this side, and I'm okay with that. Just in case you're wondering, yes, this pose is challenging for me. But I'm just breathing into any areas of sensation, making sure I feel a good stretch, a high sensation, but I'm not in pain at all. And that is why I chose to modify on this side. Just take one more breath here. If you are down on the elbows, come back up onto your fingertips. Place a hand either side of your front foot. Extend your back leg long and then step back, finding plank one more time. Slowly lower, challenge yourself. Rolling shoulders back, make your way to cobra or upward facing dog. Coming to downward dog here. Maybe just take a moment to walk the dog.
It makes her, but it breaks her. Takes her into
and then we'll walk the feet forward, landing in a forward fold briefly. Inhale, jackknife. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping arms out.
From the hills.
Exhale, hands to heart. And then once more, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Just step back to downward dog. And then we'll lower the knees. And we'll be coming onto our bellies here. And we'll be working with Sphinx pose. So extend your arms out nice and long. And then begin to bring your arms back until your elbows are directly below your shoulders, or maybe even a little further forward. Spread your hands, connect your hands to the mat. Connect forearms to the mat. And then think about pulling back on your arms. Don't let your arms move, but it will pull your chest forward. Engage the glutes and tuck your pelvis down into the floor. This will help support the low back. And just make sure you're not collapsing into your shoulders. Push up, out of the arms. Pull your chest forward. Tuck your pelvis. And breathe.
Other side where no cars go. Up to the hills. Thoughts stand alone like my restless heart. Well, I would swim, but the river is so wide now. Scared I won't make it to the other side. God knows I failed, but He knows that I've tried.
Let's take one more breath here.
Something that's safe and warm.
And then slowly lower down, release your arms, maybe resting forehead on your hands. Or perhaps bringing your arms behind you and turning your head to one side. Bend your legs here. And just allow your feet to gently fall from side to side.
Sunsets late in Glasgow.
And then just allow your feet to come back to the mat. Bring hands to either side of your ribs. Push onto your hands and knees and then slowly come back into child's pose. Rounding the back, it's the counter pose to the Sphinx.
You're all the same, you're all that's one. My restless heart.
All around me
onto the hands and knees. We'll slowly make our way down to the floor. So find a seat kind of in the middle of the mat here, and then slowly roll down, gathering in your knees. And just rock gently from side to side. Bringing your feet down to the mat, we'll be working with bridge. We'll begin with a little pelvic rocking. So as you inhale, tailbone tips down and your low back releases. So you should have a little gap here underneath your low back. And then as you exhale, push low back into mat. Raise your hips an inch or two. Inhaling. Tailbone tips down, low back releases. Exhale, rounding your back, pushing the back into mat, lifting your hips. Just continue here to rock back and forth. And the next time you find yourself lifting your hips, just slowly make your way up to bridge. Glutes should be engaged, inner thighs are working to keep your knees from splaying apart, keep your legs parallel. Try to walk your shoulder blades in towards one another. And if it feels okay, you can actually work your hands underneath your hips here, creating kind of a supported bridge. If that's not comfortable in your arms, just keep your arms straight, forearms pressing into mat, pushing into your heels. We'll try to hold this bridge for a few breaths. But if you need to come out of it at any time, please do so. Slowly lower your hips. Or maybe come into a rolling bridge where you're just lifting and lowering your hips. If you can, stay here for 2 more breaths, maybe raising up your heels, lifting your hips an inch higher. And then slowly release your shoulder blades and just roll down the spine, lowering your heels. And just take a moment to allow your knees to fall from side to side. Slow, deep breaths here. Releasing that low back. And then bringing your knees to stillness. Just elevate your legs. We'll be staying in hip stand for a few breaths, so if you prefer to move over to one of the walls and rest your legs against the wall, then that's definitely an option here. Otherwise, just take a breath or two here with your legs extended up. Feet are flexed, you're pushing through your heels. Begin to point and flex your feet. circle the ankles. Perhaps bending the knees one at a time. Again, just stretch your legs up, flex the feet, push through the heels. Our feet tend to hold us up a lot throughout the day, so it's actually good to lay here for a little bit, reverse the flow of blood. If you want to, add a little stretch to the neck and shoulders here. Interlace your fingers and place them behind your head. Keeping your feet flexed, push through the heels. And as you exhale, just gently bring your chin towards your chest. Take one more breath here. And slowly lower the head back down to the mat. And bend your knees, bringing feet flat on the mat. Again, maybe just windshield wiper your knees from side to side. And bringing the knees to stillness, just cross your left leg over the right. And shift your hips an inch or two to the left. And just allow your knees to come over, across and down to the right. Bring arms to shoulder height. And keep knee and hip at the same height, especially if low back is tight. If you do have more flexibility in this low back area, you can take your right hand and place it on top of your knee. And just gently ease that knee slightly closer to the floor. Gaze is straight up at the ceiling, or you can turn your head and look out to your left hand to complete this twist.
Modern office buildings chasing the sun, and the wind is racing after the day. And everybody's chasing the beauty they don't have, and I'm chasing you. Raindrops keep falling, searching for a home. Like television.
Take one more breath here. And then slowly make your way onto your back, cross your legs, level off your hips. And then cross your right leg over the left. Shift your hips an inch or two towards the right. And then allow those knees to slowly come over, across and down to the left. Again, arms can stay at shoulder height. Or if you do have flexibility in the low back, place your hand on your left knee, right knee, and just ease that knee a little closer to the floor. Gazing straight up at the ceiling or out towards your right hand if your neck allows.
Birds and commuters come waiting for the train in the longest Bavarian night. Everybody's waiting for the sunrise, and I
one more breath here. And slowly unwind this twist. Level up your hips, uncross your legs. And maybe gather your knees in and just kind of rock gently from side to side. Or just circle the knees together in one direction. Just trying to hit all those 4 points in your low back. And then circle in the opposite direction. And then lowering your feet down to the mat, bringing the soles of the feet together, allowing your knees to just gently fall out to the side for reclining bound angle. Interlace your fingers and rest hands on belly. Just kind of note the rise and fall of your belly as you breathe. Or if you prefer, keeping elbows bent, just bring your arms overhead and rest them on the mat behind you, palms up. And just let gravity help you out here with this hip opener. Just free your mind. No judgment, no beating yourself up. Slow, deep breaths, relax. Release whatever it is you still need to release. So we'll be coming into just a slightly longer Shavasana today, maybe a minute or two longer. And you can choose to stay here in reclining bound angle. Or maybe just bringing your knees together, soles of the feet flat on the mat. This would be the most supportive for the low back if you do have issues there. Perhaps extend your legs out long, arms by your side. Just let arms and legs roll out to the side. If you have a blanket or a sweater handy or some socks, maybe you want to grab those just to keep yourself warm. The body does tend to cool down as we relax. Perhaps you want to move over to one of the walls and elevate your legs in kind of a hip stand as we did earlier. That's also very restorative. Or perhaps you're more comfortable laying on one side or in a seated position. So however you can best relax and let go for the next maybe 5 minutes. And just find that comfortable position. Just come into some slow, deep breaths. Again, just scan your body head to toe. Where are you still holding on to tension? Where can you soften? What can you release? How can you relax? I'm going to offer up one more quote as you lay in Shavasana. And this one is from T. Krishnamacharya. Master your breath. Let the self be in bliss. Contemplate on the sublime within you.
Just take a deep inhale breath and paying attention to the support points of the floor beneath you. As you exhale, just fully relax and surrender into the support of the earth. Let it cradle you, let it hold you up. Let the breath be natural. And just try to quiet the mind. Thoughts will enter. Just try to let them pass without dwelling on them. Master your breath. Let the self be in bliss. Contemplate on the sublime within you. Just begin to bring your attention back to the present moment. Taking in the sounds around you, or noting how the air feels on your skin. And perhaps roll on to one side. Just take a few breaths there. whenever you're ready, taking your time, just make your way to a seated position. Maybe sitting with eyes closed or just with a soft gaze. And bring hands to heart. So I'm going to close the practice with the sound of Om today. I do not often do this, but it is a very grounding sound, and it's a good way to close the practice. You can feel free to chant with me or just take in the sound of the Om. It's a 3-part sound. It's kind of like Om. So it's one sound, but it's kind of 3 distinct parts. And if you might just let the part at the end linger, feel it resonate in this area of your forehead, the 3rd eye area. And it will actually help you just feel a little more relaxed, a little more blissed out. So give it, hopefully the music's not too loud here. Give it a try. Take an inhale breath. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.